What's up, guys? Back in a new vid, and guys, today you already titled the video. Do you need a PS5 Pro? And I'm gonna answer that question in today's video, guys. So the PS5 Pro did get announced 3 days ago, whichever day you're uploading this, 3-4 days ago. I'm very late, very demure, as the internet says. I don't know, but do you need the PS5 Pro? Well, I'm going to answer that question today. So before we get into it, guys, hit that like button, subscribe, and like I said, let's hop into it. Enough wasting time. Okay, switching over to my screen here, we're looking, we can see Game Radar obviously showed the specs, PS5 versus PS5 Pro specs compared, how does the next gen console match up, but we're going to look at something different today.
When PS5 debuted in 2020,
okay, now we're at the
it brought a lot to the table.
That was the
8 Zen 2 CPU cores form the brains of PlayStation 5.
Okay, 8 core Zen 2 CPU. We already have an 8 core CPU for the PS5 already. Now we go to PS5 Pro CPU specs. 3.5 gigahertz. Somewhere I did read online that it can boost up to 3.8 gigahertz, but if you look at the PS5, this is Wikipedia. Teachers say don't trust Wikipedia. You have to have permission to change Wikipedia. Wikipedia is okay. CPU, 8 core AMD Zen 2 variable frequency up to 3.5 gigahertz. GDDR6 memory, not GDDR5, DDR6 SD RAM. So it's an APU, it's a console. You gotta make it small and stuff. So what they're showing, 8 cores into, yeah, PlayStation, they just took AMD out the name. It's the same CPU. But mind you, CPU, you can have a good CPU and a trash graphics card and still get bad FPS. The graphics card is more the thing that matters. You just gotta make sure your CPU isn't bottlenecking. So it makes no sense to change the CPU. The CPU is already good, so I don't know. There's probably want it to be fancy. I don't know.
And enable high-speed complex gameplay with character counts reaching into the hundreds.
Let's turn this to 1440. I don't think my internet can handle 4K.
And frame rates that can
that's Borderlands 3 or 4.
be as high as 120 frames a second.
Up to 120 frames.
PS5 has a powerful RDNA 2 GPU, which can render anything from intricate details to fantastic worlds with vast panoramas to explore. Ray tracing allows for dramatic visual improvement.
Oh wait, I'm retarded. I think they're showing the regular PS5 spec. Okay.
Including traversal speeds are essentially unlimited.
You okay?
It's what you're amazing frames per second. These modes of the players are choosing mainly by reducing the graphical detail until the improves over uses 5 in 4 ways. GPU much larger, all the substantially improved.
Okay, now this is where I made a mistake. I had to cut out the video. This is
moves
where
over PlayStation 5
in
in 3 ways. Here's what we call the Big 3.
The Big 3. Wow. I see what they did there. But a larger GPU, advanced ray tracing, AI-driven upscaling, the whole.
First, we made the GPU much larger. And
the GPU much larger. I would say it should be like a big graphics card, but the GPU is just a chip. It's just a bunch of chips. The graphics card is just fans around and just plug it in. It's already connected inside. So this is the GPU or APU, whatever it is. 60, 70,
and increase the speed of the memory it uses.
So 67% compute units, a larger GPU, so it's bigger. Okay, 28% faster RAM. That's good.
The result.
RAM doesn't really matter though. RAM doesn't. You can still have 2133 megahertz RAM and still only have 1 less FPS and so on 3200 megahertz.
Is rendering that's up to 45%.
So it renders faster up to 45%
faster. Second, we made major upgrades to the ray tracing, taking a streamlined and accelerated approach that allows calculation of the rays at double or even triple the speeds of PlayStation 5.
That's cool.
And finally, we added custom hardware for machine learning and an AI library called PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, or PSSR for short. PSSR analyzes the game images pixel by pixel and can add an extraordinary amount of detail, which boosts the effective resolution of the games.
That's fake. Like,
PSSR analyzes the game.
Looking at this, okay, they added those effects of the dots and
images pixel by
it's just
pixel.
a little effect. You see how it is like, oh, look at that. That's After Effects, man. That's not real.
And can add an extraordinary amount of detail, which
reality,
boosts the effective resolution of the games.
Zoom in that far.
Game creators are adding PS5 Pro support to new and existing titles. And with the big three involved, the results can be pretty amazing. With graphics showing something like fidelity levels of detail, but at double the frame rate.
Woo!
Here's The Last of Us Part 2 running on PS5
Whatever that
Pro.
Moist Critical meme is.
It has huge amounts of detail and targets a super smooth 60 frames per second.
Game ever. We love that.
Let's compare this to the fidelity mode on PS5,
it looks better,
which is only
even though I
running
can't
at
see it 'cause
30
you
frames per
compressed
second
it.
and is therefore much choppier.
Don't stop! We gotta lose.
This goal of delivering almost fidelity-like graphics at performance frame rates has been achieved for a broad set of titles, including Marvel's Spider-Man 2,
so I
and
can
Ratchet
see.
and Clank
People
Rift
like
Apart.
say, "Oh man, I don't see a difference." You can see the difference if you look closely. Like PS5, yeah, fidelity, like a shadow or two may be missing, but PS5 Pro, you can tell. Like, you can see the ray tracing, you can see the more detail, including on the plane, including on Ratchet, whatever. But the way they're doing this presentation, 6-7% more faster. Say like the GPU in the PS5 regular is comparable to like a 2070 Super. 67% more faster just made you be like either a 3070 or maybe like a 3080 in a PS5 Pro. And those cars are old, back in like 2020, 2019 or 18, whenever the 2070 Super came out. So they're just marketing this like it's a PS6, but let's get further into it.
We can see that PS5 Pro is close to doubling the power of PlayStation 5.
Like, that's cool though. It's doing all that. Also, it doubled the frame rate. So instead of being at fidelity 4K and all that stuff at 30, it's fidelity 4K at 60 with the ray tracing still on. So that's cool.
Another way to compare the two consoles is to look at PS5 Pro versus Performance mode on PS5, both of which target 60 frames per second. What we see here is a difference in detail. PS5 Pro is much sharper and crisper than PS5.
Okay.
For this, my favorite is the parade scene from Ratchet and Clank. Distant details are much clearer. And here we can see Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is noticeably higher resolution throughout the scene, including the trees and procedural cars. So overall, some remarkable improvement to the games. On PS5 Pro, we can see increased sharpness to the graphics or smoother and more responsive gameplay. This is the big three showing their value.
Okay, we know this already. We know a lot of this already.
Higher frame rate. That's so enjoyed.
Let's get to the price. So that's what we know that.
Don't let me hang it.
What was that? Woo!
Okay.
Woo! Alright, now let's get. What was that? Different game. What was that? I already know it's not a price, but what was that at the end? Price. Alright. This is the big thing. $700. Vertical stand sold separately. Doesn't come with a disk drive. So you're $700 if you want the vertical stand, because you really don't need that. But if you do, that's like maybe $20. You can get one 3D printed or off Amazon. You don't need a vertical stand. But the disk drive costs $80 unless you get it used for cheaper or whatever. But this is like almost an $800 console. You don't need this. The games, okay, like it's showing it like a PS5. Like, I mean, like it's showcasing it like it's the PS6. is really no difference, you know? Unless they come with newer games and have them, like The Last of Us Part 2 came out at the end of PS4 life cycle. It was well optimized. They worked on it since 2015, whatever. You know, they showed the trailer 2016, 3 years after. It doesn't matter. You're not gonna really need this. The PS5 already has a lot of the same stuff PS5 Pro has. It's just a little bit better graphics. $700, and mind you, the PS6 is on the way. Like, the way Pro consoles, like, they come out, like, PS4 Pro released for $350. If you never had the console yet, you would get the PS4 Pro. If you don't have the PS5 yet, and you're still on your PS4, don't get the Pro, because, like, you're probably going to get it around, like, the holiday or something like that in, like, 2025, 6. When it hits 2027, dude, you're only going to have 1 year to play the PS5 Pro. And notice, the PS5 still hasn't went on sale. You can get a PS5 used around on Facebook Marketplace, pawn shops, anywhere for like $400. Don't get this. It's not that, like, if you take a look at like comparisons of like other things, dude, like PS5 Fidelity, PS5 Pro, there's not that big of a noticeable difference, including for $700. Unless you can get it for a good price and you don't have it already, keep your PS5. You can play all the stuff you want at 120. You don't have to have stuff at like 4K 60 ray tracing. They have options for like 4K 60 without ray tracing. You're not going to need it. People don't even use ray tracing on PC. If you're thinking about getting this, I'll say get a PC, but that's for another video. And the video froze or something. What? I can't. But you don't need this, guys. Just get a PC if you're looking for stuff competitive. And with that, most PlayStation games are on PC and are coming to PC. Or you could just do the emulation and just emulate the games. You don't need this, including just to like play it just for like 3 years for like sharper graphics. I understand it's like cheaper. The PS5 hasn't even went on sale at all. Not one sale. Not this or the Series X. The Series S went on sale because the Series S is a piece of trash. But the Series X and Xbox and PlayStation 5 are still at MSRP. And retailers haven't marked them down at all. So, save your money. Keep your PS5. You don't need this. It's not that big of a change. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe, and see you all later.